Yes, I do keep my old art in a kitty folder. Don't judge me. It's cute. Don't judge the kitty. Don't judge me. Hi everyone. In today's video, we will be looking at my old art from 2019. This is basically art that's not in my sketchbook. It's just loose pieces of paper, and I thought it would be fun to look at it. So let's get started. Okay, this is from 2019. The second or third of unfinished art pieces. So I remember doing this. I remember the idea. I remembered having the idea of a girl. She's in the woods in the dark, and she's just sleeping, and there was gonna be like a darkness looming over her, kind of. But that didn't translate well here. Because it doesn't look like it's dark. It looks like there's still light out, and I wanted it to be dark, and then I gave up because I didn't like how the background was coming out. But I do like the idea of a girl sleeping in the forest. It looks kind of like fairy bookish, like Red Riding Hood. So yeah, that's that. Okay, now the next one is a tiny one. This is from August 2nd of 2019, kind of late in 2019, but I said before that I did a lot of art in my sketchbook. So I didn't do a lot of like elaborate art. Not that these are elaborate or anything, but that would explain why this is from August. So let's look at this one. It's a little sharky, hammerhead shark. I love sharks. Just a little thing about me. I love sharks. They're just so cool. Anyway, so I really like how this one came out. This is gouache. You can see like a little purpled, and then it like becomes like, you can see where I put white, and then like the tail looks nice, and then like around here I lose that kind of effect of the reflectiveness of the shark. It makes me happy when I look at this. Even though I know I can do the background better. The background looks kind of splotchy, especially around the shark. I just don't know how to make a gradient when it's like there's an object right in the middle and I have to do a gradient, but I don't want to touch the object. I guess I should do the background first and then the object or the animal or the person. I really like this. I think I did this. Was it Shark Week? I think it was right after Shark Week. Yes, this is that drawing. Painting. The next one's tiny ones. August was like the time of tiny paintings, basically. So, this one. This is watercolor. I started doing gouache a little more, and I like the opaqueness of gouache, but I like the kind of the classiness of watercolor, or like the lightness, kind of like that. If you saw a sketch of a dress and then they use watercolors and it looks so like dainty and beautiful and classy, I like that effect, and I tried to do it here, but it didn't turn out well. I think the main reason it didn't turn out well is because I could have worked on it a little more in watercolor, and I shouldn't have went straight with pencil. As you can see here, it looks a little rough because this is watercolor paper. The pencil, it's a little too rough, so the pencil leaves this pattern on the paper, and you can see that on the macaroons. I like how the saucer came out, but the milk, and I think that looks nice. It's just the rest of it, like I could have done much more to it, and it would have looked nicer. Watercolor is a thing where you just have to keep working on it. Like there's a point where it won't look good, and then but if you keep working on it, you can eventually get it to look good. And I think I reached a point where it didn't look that great, and I kind of just gave up, which I shouldn't have, and went straight to colored pencils, which I shouldn't have. I should use colored pencils very sparingly, and especially on watercolor paper, because it does give this weird texture, which could be beneficial on other subjects, but I wanted it to be more smooth because this is supposed to be wood, so it's supposed to be more smooth. Not wood, like vinyl. Definitely a miss for me, but still a good piece. I still like it. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't hate any of my art. I just like see where I can improve. and try to bring that over to my present art, which I feel like it's a good thing if you look back at your past art, because not only do you see how much you have improved, but you also see places where you could improve. So this was done August 19th, 2019. Like I said, August was the time of small paintings. And this was a snake. This is so cute too. I like this one. Definitely for this one, I feel like when I did it, I was really happy with it. I'm still very happy with it. But I feel like it's a little too simple. I feel like there could have been something more interesting to it. Oh yes, before I actually go on, if you hear construction noises, my neighbors are doing construction, and they've been doing construction for a while now. So, in case you hear just weird noises, it's them. It's not, yeah, it's them. So, I really like this one, and definitely it's pretty simple. I wish I had added something to the scale body to make it more interesting, maybe some weird colors. Not weird colors, just like random colors to make it more blah, like in your face. Yeah, but I really like this one. Yay! Okay. This one. Oh, this one doesn't fit on the shot. This one is very unfinished. This is the most unfinished art work that I have, because I started it and then I messed up and then I gave up and then yeah. Yes, let's just get on with it. Let's just go with it. Yes, so this is supposed to be the Green Arrow, inspired by the Arrow television series on CW. I made it, it's probably like November or December I made it, and it was when the Crisis episodes were, the big crossover, the Crisis episodes were it was coming closer, and I made it kind of in honor of Stephen Amell, because this is Arrow's on its last season. So I made that, but I messed up. So initially it was going to be just watercolor, then I try to do gouache on top. This is not gouache, like some of it is gouache, and then I messed up, and then I stopped, and then I had bought acrylic paint, and I only had the primary colors, and I was testing out like different kinds of greens and skin colors I could make, because I already had thought of redoing this, but in acrylic. Yeah, so that's why there's like random colors everywhere, and the skin looks like weird, because I was testing out the acrylics to see testing out my abilities to make skin colors and different kinds of greens. So that's why this one looks kind of strange. So not much to say, because I did redo it, and it's not in this pose. This is the redone version. So this is fully in acrylic, no gouache, no watercolor, just acrylic. So let's do it. Yes. This one actually I really, really like. Of course there's like some things I would change. I guess we'll start with the things I will change, and then we'll go to the things I like. The things I would change. The nose is not that noticeable. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but the nose is not that noticeable on this, and I wish I have trouble with noses and making them noticeable, especially if there's no line art, and so it's not that noticeable. Like, you can barely see it. So other than that, that and the arrows, the bows. I wish I worked on it more, maybe like more shadows and stuff, and make it more, the different gadgets more noticeable. I do still like it. I like how I drew it. I just the coloring I want to work on with the bow. And maybe the shadows underneath the face, I wanted more in shadow, because this part of him is supposed to be in dark and this part of him is supposed to be in light, and especially he's under the hood. So this should be even more in dark, his face, but I didn't know how to do that with acrylic. I'm still testing out the waters with acrylic, and I didn't want to mess it up. I could have probably put watercolors. I think I did put watercolors if I remember correctly. I think I did, but it didn't go out. It didn't work out well because the watercolor wouldn't soak into the paper because of the acrylic was on top, which I should have thought of. But things I like the background, like how it goes from like dark burgundy to like this orange, to this red, then orange, then yellow. I really like the background, and I like the shading on other parts of the body. And this pose was really difficult. I did use a reference for this. It's a still from the TV series. It was very difficult to get the pose, and I still think it could use some work, but this I'm really happy about. And yes, I love the Arrow series. So yes, that's all I have to say about this. I do like it, especially the background. Another small artwork. Okay, this is from the very last week of December. I think I did this, and it's a gouache painting, and it's a monochromatic gouache painting. I have trouble doing shadows and light and trying to figure out how it works in the painting and where would they be present. So I thought a monochromatic painting would help, because you're only using one color, so you only have to worry about that color and seeing where those shadows are and where those lights are, instead of worrying about different colors. That being said, I still have to work on shadows and lights, as you can see, especially with the person. I think the bed is very well done in shadows. Like, I think the bed is the best part of this painting. But the person, she's not very much in shadow, and I feel like the back of her should have been darker, because the light is coming from the moon, so she's still too light. But I was worried that I would lose some of her, like her hair, like it would just blend in with each other. But I should have still did it. Oh yeah, if you're wondering, this painting, she's on her bed, but the bed is like kind of floating in the sky. She's kind of dreaming. I had that idea. Overall, I really do like this painting. The moon. It's the moon. I don't know. I don't. This is the first moon I've ever drawn, and I don't hate it. I like it. I think I can still improve on the drawing moons and the shiner on the moon. This should be much more lighter, but I was scared. I think this was a good step forward in understanding shadows and lights. So yes, I like this painting very much. Next one's a big one too. So yes, this is what is this? Oh, this was watercolor. This was only watercolor, and I think a little bit of gouache to fix some areas, but this was entirely in watercolor, other than the gouache parts. Yes. So I watched Frozen, and then I thought, oh, her dress is so pretty. Her top area, I feel like it should be more turned. That I would need to work on. That was a drawing error. And her face. I think her forehead area is kind of too much in. And the biggest problem I have, there is a biggest problem, is the background. I had this idea of creating a winter forest, and then I had that idea before I had drawn this, and then I painted her first, and I painted the staff, and then I completely forgot about the idea of doing a winter forest, and then I did this complete gray background. But I do like her. So that is the end of the video. You might be wondering, Priyanka, which one is your favorite art piece? And I would tell you, I have two. So the first one that's my favorite is the shark favorite, and then the second favorite is Arrow. I hope you enjoyed the video today, and I hope you found it interesting, and I will see you next time. Bye! In case you want to see this kitty again, here you go. He's cute, isn't he? It's a good kitty.